up? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to a new video. So if you guys saw a couple videos ago, you guys know that I was daily driving my friend's 2023 Yare Edition G80 M3. It was the Techno Violet with the Stealth PPF. I just installed some Future Classic spacers for him, 15 millimeters in the front, 12 millimeters in the rear. Absolutely love how it turned out. He put me up to the task to install them for him while he was away. And as a thank you, he allowed me to drive the car for the week, just have some fun with it. Absolutely love that car. I never thought in a million years I would grow to love that front end. It's one of those things that people love it or people hate it. I originally didn't like it at all, like many people when they first saw it, but I have grown to absolutely love it, and I think it looks very, very good, especially with a few modifications with the car lowered, proper stance, and a nice front lip on there. I think it looks very, very good. Plus with the updated grille that you can get from the different aftermarket companies, I think it looks really good. But what we're actually gonna be doing in this video is doing another modification. He's a good friend of mine, so it's one of those things that I don't mind doing. Plus it's an M3, I love working on M3s. Especially getting my hands dirty on a new M3. So if you guys don't know, there is a version of the G80X or the G82. It is called the CSL. This was a version back on the E46 M3 as well, and even older generations. It's a very, very true motorsport heritage edition of the M3. And one of the features that comes on that car is yellow daytime running lights. I'll throw the CSL up on the screen for you. As you can see on the headlights, the daytime running light in the headlight is yellow. Looks super menacing, very, very aggressive, very, very motorsport looking. And what a lot of people are doing is upgrading to them, and it's actually a very, very simple modification. It's not very hard to do. It's only around $300 or so to get this done. You don't have to bake the headlights or open them up or anything crazy like that. It is very, very simple. You simply just unbolt something, stick the new one in, plug it in, and you're good to go. So that is what we're going to be doing in this video. I'm going to show you step by step of how to get that done. I'm going to show you everything that you get in the little kit. So now I'm just waiting for my friend to arrive. We're going to get the stroller out of the way, and he's going to pull in the garage and we're going to get it knocked out. Also, he's having a little bit of rubbing with the 15 millimeter spacer up front, which is a very, very common thing to happen on the G80s. There's some vents on the front fender liners right up by the tire that there's vents, and it actually rubs on that. So there's a couple ways to deal with that. I do have to take the wheel off, the front wheels off, to get to one of the modules on the headlights to replace it. So we're going to be taking them off, and I'm going to show you what I have come up with and I've seen other people do to get rid of that rubbing as well. So let's go ahead, check out everything in the kit, get my buddy's G80 in the garage, and then we can get installing the yellow daytime running lights. So this is what I got. These are from Bay Optics. I bought them from my go-to lighting place, Lightworks. Amazing place. That's where I get all my lighting goods. But the brand is Bay Optics. So as you can see, G80 or G80X, M3, M4. They are for the laser lights. You can get them for the non-laser, just the LED ones. It's a 2021 Plus and CSL yellow. So this is what you get in the box. You also get some instructions as well, but that's no fun to look at. So I just wanted to kind of open this up and show you what you get inside. So I will go over what these are in a second, but let me show you the actual little circuit boards. As you can see, it's really simple. It's nothing crazy. I'm not going to open them yet, but as you can see, there's two in each package. One for the outer and one for the inner for both headlights. So if you look on the actual boards on the end of them, one says R and the other one says L for left. So left and right. So you don't want to mix that up. You want to make sure you're putting them on the correct sides. So we are going to be making sure we put them on correctly when we install them. In the older versions, when these first started coming out, you actually had to go out and purchase your own thermal glue, your own thermal adhesive. Because basically you're just gluing these to the actual heatsink, exactly how it is on the OEM ones. But what a lot of people will end up doing were using the wrong adhesive. A lot of people, a lot of DIYs that I saw, that people were doing these, they were using a wrong thermal glue. So what they ended up doing is using JB Weld, which is okay, it'll hold, but JB Weld doesn't really hold up well over time with heat. And since these are actually something that gets pretty hot over time, you want to use the proper adhesive. So what they actually did is include some heat sink or thermal tape adhesive. So you just peel it off the backing right here and stick it onto the actual board. So you can see on the back there, see it's a nice flat surface. and then you just put it on there and you stick it right to the heatsink. So the little kit you do get here is very, very simple, very easy. It gives you everything that you need. I'm really happy they finally started providing these as opposed to you going out and getting your own thermal adhesive, because like I said, a lot of people were doing it wrong. But yeah, that's all you get in the kit, and that's all you need. Again, I'm going to show you step by step how to do this, but for now, let's get the stroller out of the way and let's get the G80 in the garage. Go ahead and first pop the hood. So if you guys don't know where the hood latch is, it's down here, and you have to do a double pull like all BMWs. So we got that done. We're going to come over here, open up the hood, and then you'll be greeted with the heatsink modules. So these are just the heat sinks, as I mentioned, and inside is the little circuit boards. It's on either side, so there's one there, and then on the passenger side there's one there. And then again, I'll show you where the other one is for this ring, because each daytime running light on each headlight has a separate heat sink and a separate board. So to remove the heat sink, all we're going to use is a T20 bit to get those out, and you simply just pull it out. Then you're going to unplug the little module and it comes right out, and then we can get to removing it. So let me go ahead, get this out first, and then I'll bring it over to the workbench. All right, so we got the driver's side inner daytime running light heat sink out. We have it on the workbench. We got a nice soft microfiber here just in case, but there is the little module that we are replacing. So if you see, there is an L on the bottom right here. That means left side, so that is the driver's side. So there's actually some thermal adhesive that is holding this board on here. So what they actually recommend is using a heat gun to kind of heat it up a little bit, and then you can use either a screwdriver or some type of pry to pop this one off. So that is what we're going to do, and try to get this one off without damaging anything. And yeah, so let me go ahead, get the heat gun out and try to get this off. All right, so I got my heat gun. So I'm simply just going to heat up the backside a little bit. You don't have to go crazy because you don't want to get it too hot, but you just want to loosen the adhesive on the back of it so you can pry it off nice and easy. All right, so we got the module off without breaking it, which is good news. But as you can see on the back here, there's some adhesive left. So we're gonna just take a razor blade, scrape it off. So the new one has a nice hold, or a nice place for the new board to sit. So just take note that you need to put it back in the same exact orientation. So just for the record, the actual plug goes on the side with this little kind of groove right here. So when you take it off, you can see it has like a little backwards L. That is the side that the plug goes in. So make note of that so you don't get confused while you're taking it off. So now we're going to take a razor blade and just kind of scrape off as much as we can from the heatsink. You don't have to be perfect, but try to get as much off as you can. All right, so I got as much off as I can. It's nice and flat, actually pretty smooth, although there's still like a little bit of a stain from the stock adhesive. So now we're going to go ahead and open up the Bay Optics little box here. These are the adhesive stickers that we're going to be using, just one per board. And then we're going to take out the packaging that has the L on it. So if we look, this one right here has R, so that is for the passenger side. So we're going to take this one out, make sure it says L, and it does right there. So we're going to open up this little packaging, and we're going to take out the small board. So exactly the same one, as you can see, as this. Looks very, very similar. So if you can see the difference side by side, you can tell which one's yellow by this one being a yellow LED, where this one is kind of like a more of a white. But side by side, you can tell which one is the yellow one. So we're simply just going to take one of these, peel it off, and we're going to stick it right on the back of the little board. Now this is kind of trimmed to fit, so what we're actually going to do is place it on the board like that and just cut off the excess so there's nothing overhanging, and then we can go ahead and stick it on. So we trimmed it to fit, so here we go. So now we're going to peel off the blue backing here and stick it right exactly where the stock one was. So it sits right in that little groove right there. Like I said, the backwards L is where the plug goes. So this one is ready to go back in the car. So let's go ahead and do a test, make sure everything works. And yeah, pretty simple as you guys can see. Also keep in mind, this is completely reversible. So if you ever want to put the stock white one back in, you simply just get some more adhesive and put it right back on. So very, very simple to reverse if you want to sell the car or if you want to go back to white. Some people actually get a second set of heat sinks, so they leave the white ones on so they can switch back and forth. But it's a pretty simple swap if you want to go back to stock. Just figured I would mention that. So let's head over back to the car, put this on, do a little test, and check it out. So everything is back installed. As you can see, I almost dropped this one, so be really careful. You don't have to torque these down tight at all, just kind of hand tight. Don't go crazy with them because it's going into plastic, so you don't want to torque them down too much. But let me go ahead and do a little test. I'm just going to come over here and turn on the parking lights. So I'm gonna hit that middle button there. Let's check it out, and there we go. Oh my God, that is sick. Oh my God, on the purple, that looks freaking amazing. Oh man, I'm getting excited. This is really cool. Also to keep in mind, it retains the factory blinker. So I believe just the outer one turns to the amber. So even though it's yellow, it'll still turn amber when the blinker's on. Obviously we can't test it, but I'll show you what that one looks like just for the sake of doing it. So as you can see, it's just the outer one that turns amber. I'll come over here so you can see on the factory, the white. So that still retains the factory amber color when you do switch over to yellow. So don't worry, that is still there. Nothing is changing, just the color. All right, so now that we got the inner one done, I want to get one side done so I can show a comparison side to side. But we're gonna go ahead and get the outer ring done. So you need to gain access through the wheel well. So you can either put it up on a lift and just turn the wheel, or you can take it off. Since we're just using a jack here, I'm gonna go ahead and take the wheel off. It's really simple. So I'm gonna take the wheel off, and then we're gonna get to the wheel liner here, pop that off, and we'll have access to the other module. All right, so we got the wheel off. We have access to the wheel liner here. There is the Future Classic spacers that we installed in a couple videos ago. But I just wanted to show you this since, because I'm going to be resolving this while we're here. Now, if you're running 15mm spacers, some people even reported this with the 12mm spacers, there is some rubbing on the front wheel liner here. So if we kind of look in, you can kind of see some scuffing right here. And the main problem or the main issue that people have is these fins. So some people either just cut them out completely to give more clearance for the tire, or there's a couple other options as well. You can actually heat this up and kind of push it in, which is what I'm going to do. Or you can spend about $900 for IND liners. They're actually called clearance liners or extra clearance liners, something like that, which actually gets rid of this. The opening just has a mesh kind of insert, and it's more pushed in, so you have more clearance. But we're just gonna do this for free, and I'm gonna go heat this up. They're very, very pliable, so I'm just gonna heat them up with the heat gun and kind of form them out of the way to see if that helps at all. Also right here, you can tell there is some scrubbing. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that out of the way, and then we can get to the module. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 or 10 10mm bolts around the fender liner. So I'm gonna go ahead and zip them off, and then we can pull it out. actually 13. There's a few on the back side here, so make sure you remove those. But if we look in the back here, there's access to the other module. You can basically, you don't even have to remove the full liner if you don't want to. You kind of just remove a few and kind of bend it back if you want, but I just wanted to show you guys. It took, what, 15 seconds to do that. So same thing, T20s on either side, unplug it, and it comes right out. So quick note, there's 3 on here. So if you look under there, there is a third one at the top right that you need to remove. I don't think there's one on the left, no, just on the top right. So kind of hard because this little kind of piece of metal's in the way, but we'll get a tool and figure it out to get that one out. So this is what I came up with. It works, it fits back there. It's just an adjustable wrench with a 20 Torx bit on there, and I'm able to get there and loosen it. So luckily these things aren't tight, so it doesn't take much force to loosen them. So let me go ahead and get it off. All right, so it's the same exact process. I'm going to heat up the heatsink on the back here, pry this one off. This is kind of hard to mess up since it does have the 3 prongs, so you can't put it in the wrong place. As you can see, everything lines up perfectly fine. See, it has the L as well for the left side. So let me go ahead and heat that up, get this one off, swap it over, and we can be done with the driver's side. All right, so I'm an idiot. As I was installing this back, I realized this Torx screw over here is not for the module or the heatsink. This is for this little plate here, so you don't need to remove that one. Just the one on the left and then the one up top here, which is a little bit harder to get to. But I used some channel locks. I found a better method with a 20 Torx up there, and I'm tightening it down. So I'm gonna go ahead, get this all kind of closed up and fitted, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, so what I end up doing to clear for the front wheel is I end up heating it up a little bit, but I just found there wasn't that much clearance. So what I end up doing, what a lot of people did, was just cut out some of the vents there for added clearance. So we'll see how that does. I bent this part in a little bit as well, use the heat gun, and if it's not enough, we can cut some more out. As I mentioned as well, I&D sells an entire wheel liner as well for 900 bucks, but that's a little crazy. So we're gonna try this out first, see how it does, and if it still rubs, we'll just snip off a few more fins. But I think it's good. I think it's gonna clear, and the tire should be fine. All right, so the driver's side is complete. It's back on the ground. So if we go over to the passenger side, there is the white, which still looks great, but the yellow just looks way more menacing, way more aggressive, and it looks fantastic on Techno. I just really love the stealth finish on here on the PPF. Looks awesome. Let me show you the blinker real quick. I'll switch over to amber on the outer ring for the blinker, and everything functions exactly like stock. So if you come over here as well, exactly the same. So I'm gonna go ahead, knock out the passenger side. It's exactly the same thing. I'm gonna cut out the little fins on the liner as I did on this side as well. And I'll probably just do it off camera or do a time lapse for you guys so I can get this knocked out, and then I'll show you the finished product. All right, so quick note on the passenger side, it's actually the opposite. So remember the L, it was like this on the driver's side, but for the passenger, it's the opposite. So you want to make sure the plug goes on the opposite side of that little L. So same exact thing, gonna throw some adhesive on there and we'll be good to go. All right, guys, so we are finished with the install of the yellow CSL daytime running lights. Looks absolutely awesome. I love it on this color, especially with the stealth PPF. It just looks so menacing. Again, you guys just saw the whole install. Super simple, and it's only around like $300, so it's pretty reasonable to get this done. So if you want to change over to the yellow daytime running lights, it's not hard to do at all. You just follow the steps in this video and you can get it done. And as I mentioned earlier, this is completely reversible. So if you ever wanted to go back to the white, or if you're selling the car or what have you, you simply can just take off the yellow ones and put the white ones on and you're good to go. You can also get a second set of heat sinks as well and just kind of swap back and forth if you wanted to. But yeah, so that is the install of the CSL daytime running lights. If you guys have any questions at all, be sure to ask them below. But in the meantime, keep it clean, keep it simple, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.